Hello, it's Emma Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and in this video we're going to be having a go at making an A6 card using some of the new stamps. We've got the Arch of Angels and Wild Leaf Corner, and some beautiful new colours from Versafine Clair too. So I've got my A6 card, and the first thing I'm going to do is blend in some lime punch. So just take a little bit on your brush, and starting at the corners, bring it in to the centre. This is all going to be built up in layers, so don't be too stressy about your blending not being perfect. The most important bit is the centre, really, that it isn't too heavy. Okay, lovely subtle shades of the lime punch. Okay, next up, let's add some Elements Ink Pine. Okay, so I said it was going to be us gradually building up these colours, and that's what we're doing. So we've got this lovely green frame. Don't be too scared of colour. Right, and we're going to be using the Forest Leaf Corner, which is rather lovely. And we're going to be popping it here and here. So I'm going to ink that up in Spruce, one of the new colours from Versafine Clair. I'm just going to pop that across the top. Okay, look at that, it's lovely. And you're going to create a sort of almost teardrop shape in the centre by doing that on the, stamping it on the opposite corner. So smack dab in the middle of that, we're going to pop the Arch of Angels, and that we're going to do in Versafine Clair Nocturne. And let's get that into position. Don't worry, you want it to be central, but don't stress too much if it overlaps anywhere, okay? That'll be good. So I'm just going to take my block stencil and I'm going to fill in the walls around it. So I'm using some dark denim, and I've got a size 7 stencil brush here. We don't really want it to be that strong, so we're just doing subtle, gentle bits of dark denim across here. Okay, so that gives us our wall. It's rather effective, I think. Now, I'm going to grab a smaller stencil brush because I just want to add a little bit of shading underneath this bottom step and sort of take it off to the side a little, because this is going to become like a path. Okay, so if you get a black Posca pen and push it down onto your craft mat and just create a little reservoir underneath your nib, pop a little bit of water on your craft mat too, and we're just going to take some of that onto a paintbrush and paint the Posca, which is basically acrylic ink, onto the doorway. And you can build up that colour. So that's our doorway. Now to build up this wall, I'm just going to take a black fine liner and we're just going to dot. You see how the edge of that doorway has some lovely dots on it? Just take those dots a little bit further out, only on the bricks, and it will make our doorway belong to that wall. And you can see I'm not really panicking about where it's going. I'm just thinking little tiny dots on these bricks. Just go all the way around the door. There we go. And you can add it onto the next row of bit. Just makes that wall feel like it's all together with the doorway. If you don't have a black fine liner, then use a black Posca pen. I've got a yellow and an aqua green Posca here. I'm just going to start adding little bits of colour to this doorway. I'm taking the yellow now, and we're just going to add some little bits where we think the light might hit it. So you can see I did aqua green on the left, so on the right hand side I'm going to do a touch of yellow. Next thing I'm going to do is get my size 3 stencil brush, again dark denim, and we're just going to add a little bit of shading to these steps. Now you're going to be quite light with your touch here. Can you see how that takes that back into the programme? Okay, so I'll pop that aside. We still haven't finished with dark denim, but we're not going to use any more just yet. So I'm going to be using these Mondelez Aquarella or Watercolour Pencils. So for this, I'm going to want a yellow and a blue and a pink pencil. We're also going to want a little touch of Pan Pastel. So we're going to go in with our yellow and we're drawing some orbs. And these are just circles and they can go all the way, wherever you want, just dot them around. I'm loving this idea of the fairies or some sort of magical entity just having something to do with that doorway and want either coming out or going in, or what are they doing? We don't know. So in the middle of your yellow, just put a touch of Posca and smudge it with your finger. There we go. Rather lovely, I think. Okay, my next thing is the blue. So we can have these circles can be whatever size you want. And again, a little touch of Posca and blot it in the centre with your finger. And the last one is going to be our pink. Now for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little dot of, so this is Pan Pastel Titanium White, using my little finger, and I'm just going to start okay with that. Now going in with the pink in the centre of the white. Now don't forget that you always have the option of adding bling like Stickles, and we will be doing that a little bit later on. I'm going to take the white pencil and just go around. So there's a lot of magical activity going on there, which is rather fabulous. So now we need to look at these beautiful leaves. And for this, I am going to use some more of these watercolour pencils. So we've got an olivey green and a fresh spring green. Let's take those two and get started. So I'm going to start with the olivey green and I'm going to shade on the side of my pencil. Okay, so let's build up the base, like so. And it just automatically makes our leaves stand out from the background, doesn't it? Because you've got another colour going on. So once you've done that in the bottom, let's do the same to the leaf corner at the top, colouring in those leaves. Super. And if you want to add a little bit of different green, go for the bits that are closer to all the magic, because all of that light has got to go somewhere, has got to have an effect on something, hasn't it? So we're going back in with a blue. Okay, just going to fill in these gaps that are near the front with a darker blue. And add a little bit of water to it. There. Just pop some on my craft mat and add some water to the pencil that you've already popped down. And it smooths out your lines for you. It's like magic, really it is. But it's enough to make that leaf corner start to sing. So I'm going to use a yellow Posca. You can use whatever lighter colour you want, whether it's a gold or... But I'm just going to use this yellow Posca to highlight the edges of some of the leaves. Remember what we said about going for the ones closest to the doorway, because the doorway is where all of that lovely magic is happening. We're nearly there, folks. Promise you. So now I'm going to grab my dark denim and my size 7 stencil brush and load that up, and we're just going to build up this frame. Around the outside. Can you see how this frame is bringing everything into focus? Let's use those. So I'm using the mushrooms from the lamp set. Pop that on there. Inkart Inverse Fine Clair Nocturne. And we're just going to create, sort of creating a mushroom pathway. Now I'm grabbing my Posca pen, aqua green. So the ones closest to the front I've done quite heavily in this Posca. And the trick now is to maybe add a little bit down the stalk. Okay, and taking that dark green again, we're just going to add some shading around the bases. So you'll notice I'm not doing the shading in the bottom right hand corner. That's because I'm letting this Posca pen dry. So I'm taking a watercolour pencil, it's the white one, and I'm just going to add a little bit of orb magic in the darker corners. So using my ivory Posca pen, I'm going to add some dots to my mushrooms, the ones that have the aqua green on. Add touches of the white to the stalks too, just to bring them into focus. Just adding the little dots here, there and everywhere of these orbs as they're floating around. But we need a little bit of bling. It wouldn't be magic without bling, would it? I've got some icicle here. And let's just add a little bit of magic to our orbs. And take them up and away. Finally, just going to finish off my shading on the right hand side. Now, because it's magic, let's get some sentiment stickers and find the word magic. It's not that easy because I don't think there is the word magic on there. And I've taken magical things and I'm going to do what I always do, which is chop. Here we go. So it now just reads magic. And just make sure that your spaces at the front and the end of the word mirror each other. And if you pop it the bottom right hand side, and there we go, there we have it, a rather magical A6 card using the Arch of Angels and Leaf Corner. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming along. It's been great to have your company. Anyway, you have fun and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.